Welcome to Social 5 University. This is Jeremiah Stetler, your host and Chief Content Officer at Social 5. Today we'll talk about some ways that you can engage in content-related marketing for your business. A lot of times we think about advertising in the form of billboards or newspaper advertisements. When it comes to social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, there is a content strategy that needs to go into place that involves a regular flow of engaging and diverse content in your social media channels. So there are a few things we're going to talk about today. First thing is going to be some basic social media principles. So when you're looking at what content to post on Facebook, where do you start? So we're going to talk about that. Next, the difference between a power poster and a problem poster. Okay, so we'll have some examples there. Content types. This is where we'll spend most of the time today sharing with you some general types of content that you can think about when developing the content for your business. And then tools to increase your content reach. This is a little bit more sophisticated, a little more advanced of a topic, but it's super important if you're looking at increasing the reach of your messaging and try to engage an audience that perhaps isn't already affiliated with your network. So with that, let's jump into 5 social media principles. I love the number 5. The first one is to keep your content conversational. Social media is meant to be social media and not sales media. Okay, so be friendly, be positive, be upbeat, and treat your Facebook page as an opportunity to really share your personality, to humanize your business, to make people see past the curtain, you might say, that they're engaging with your company in a new way. The next one is to encourage engagement. Now, people won't leave comments or they won't answer questions unless you ask them. You need to encourage people to engage in some way. Okay, so that's the next one. Ask them to like, to share, to comment. You may do something like there's a post you'll see in just a few minutes of this presentation where our sports writer asked people to name the best mustaches in sports history. Okay, that's a great one. It gets people engaged in the message. Next is make sure not to be salesy. We had one customer who had taken a product that he was selling and posted 195 times over a 3-day period on his Facebook page. Not super effective. In fact, his audience saw a decrease rather than an increase, obviously, from that. So don't be salesy. Don't treat it as a social media billboard. Treat it as an opportunity to be social with your customers. Okay? Next one is think about diversity of content. Don't always post the same thing. If you have a golf tourney coming up, don't just post about the golf tournament every single day. Think about different images and videos and things to say, maybe some trivia, lots of things that can keep people involved and interested in your page. And then lastly, be creative. There is a string of convenience stores that we write for, and one of the real great parts of their social media strategy is that they decided they have these really awesome t-shirts, okay, that funny sayings about Michigan, okay, really neat. They decided to brand their social media strategy using that t-shirt concept. Great idea. If there's something in your business that distinguishes you, that would make your social media strategy more creative or unique or something that is top of mind with people, yeah, please go ahead and use that. So jumping in, let's talk about this difference between a problem poster and a power poster. Okay, so on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see what a power poster looks like. This is a boot company on Pinterest. And you'll notice that there's not much about boots. I did put in a picture of a boot there that someone can make a purchase if they would like to using Pinterest. But take a look at the other things, a fan, a bird, a wall. These are engaging photos. They seem to follow a similar color scheme, but it's meant to be engaging to people, not necessarily to sell product. Okay? Super effective. That Pinterest page actually received recognition for being one of the power posters on Pinterest. On the other side of the screen, you'll see another business that used Pinterest largely for advertisement. A lot of product pins, things that would normally appear on on a newspaper ad, on a billboard. Not cool in social media. The same goes for Facebook and Twitter. You need to make this an exciting, engaging experience for people. Think about the reason why you or your children get onto social media. Do they get on there to buy something? Not usually. They get on there to be engaged or entertained in some way. So what's a way that you can have your brand exposed out there as in a social world without getting on people's nerves as being too salesy? Okay. So let's jump into some different content types. All right, so we'll talk about 8 different content types here, and think about this as we're going through this presentation. Think about posts that would work for your business. And my challenge to you would be that after we're done with this webinar, I'd encourage you to get onto Facebook and try one of these strategies that we're talking about today. The first one is a call to action, and you'll see my mustache post there down at the bottom. It says, who do you think has the greatest mustache in sports history? We're leaning towards Philadelphia Flyers legend Dave Schultz. Okay, so great. We encourage people to get involved by leaving the name of somebody that had a great mustache. Okay, awesome. But there are also some easier ways that you can engage with that. Favorite types of ice cream. Pics of your pictures of kids, whatever it happens to be. Encourage people to engage somehow. The next one is called photo play. This is where the post is actually the photo is more important than the text. So take a look over here on the right-hand side. Looking for a rock-solid investment, check out this home. Yes, it's real. That post has done extremely well. And the reason is not because it's written super amazing or that it has a great link that goes to it. There's no link, actually. It's the photo that causes people to share. Now, every time someone does share a post, your icon and your business name go along with that post. So that virality or the ability of a post to be shared outside your existing network can really increase when you find content like this. The next one is helping hands. It's kind of news you can use. And I'll give you an example in the collision industry is we have quite a few customers. You wouldn't want to write a lot about crashes in there. It could turn people off. People don't want to follow their collision company. But what they do want is tips and helpful information on how to avoid crashes, how to successfully take a turn during a rainstorm. What if you lose control on ice? What do you do? How do you check the depth of your tire tread? These are things that people would follow. And they would appreciate the collision shop for it because all of a sudden that collision shop is becoming really a hero. They're becoming a partner to help you avoid bad situations. And if you do have a bad situation, you know where to go. Okay, so that's a great type of content. Next is pop culture. Pay attention to things that are happening in the world around you. Like you'll see one with The Office. I love that series. One with Barbie down there. But are there movies coming out? Are there events happening that you can piggyback on? One of the most successful pieces of content we had in the insurance world was after the Avengers movie came out. I think it was 2-3 years ago. We wrote a post about how much it would have costed to fix New York after that battle. Okay, that one went great. It certainly went viral, which is great for an insurance company. So look for ways that you can capitalize on the buzz and the trends that are happening. Now, in the next webinar that we talk about on building a Twitter audience, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can identify some of those trends and piggyback on them. Okay, so that would be a great webinar to be a part of. But pop culture, don't be afraid of tying your business into that. Next is research. These don't have to be kind of dusty, stodgy old studies. They can be fun. You'll notice a couple there of, does a red car get more speeding tickets than a normal car? Or is it bad to kiss, from a dental perspective? Next one is this one on blue M&Ms. This was great. This was in our healthcare industry. That the blue dye in M&Ms apparently has helped restore some spinal function in rats. Okay, so eat lots of M&Ms, but research is great. Next is headlines in the news. these ones are things that are happening in the world news, is happening in your local newspaper. You see one there that is mortgage paid out in pennies, or let's see, interactive map on neighborhoods hit hardest by the foreclosure crisis. Or you see this one with the lightning bolts where the guy's holding his hands up there. That one did really well in our in orthodontics. So the myth is that if you have braces, that you're more likely to be struck by lightning. Is it true? So that was a great story on how it is really just a myth. Okay, food for thought. If there's recipes that tie into your industry, great. I would definitely encourage you to use them. Holidays. You'll see some traditional ones there. Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. But what about non-traditional ones? National Fruitcake Day. Talk Like a Pirate Day. Hug Your Cat Day. These are just some odd, bizarre sort of holidays that you can tie into and have a really some great success. And then lastly, posts that are just for fun. You'll see this one, the Ugly Dogs Contest. That one performs unbelievably well every single year. Have fun. Don't worry about being super professional when it comes to these sort of things. Just have fun. Show people your personality a little bit. Now, one question we often get is, now that we've posted the content, how do we expand its reach? Sometimes when you're starting out, maybe you have 12 fans or 50 fans, and it's hard to expand that audience. Or you have a really great post and you want to make sure it's seen. How do you guarantee that it's seen? The first thing you want to do is share your content. What sharing allows you to do is take a piece of content written on your business page and then sharing it over to your personal page. The average person on Facebook has 338 friends. If it's shared one time, you have the potential now to reach an average of 338 people who may or may not be in your network. Now think about this. We had a contest is currently going, a Final Four, a giveaway Final Four tickets. If you are a business owner with 10 employees, imagine the impact that could come if you could have each of your 10 employees share a post about the Final Four contest out on their wall. All of a sudden, you've taken the average of 338 fans per page and multiplied that by 10, and now all of a sudden you have a far greater potential of reaching your customers than you would otherwise. Now, I do notice I received a question here on what exactly does reach mean, and thank you so much for asking that question. Reach really refers to the number of people who see your content. So if it comes down and they see it in their Facebook news feed, that is a person who's reached. They don't have to like, they don't have to comment, they don't have to share, but they do have to see it. Okay, that constitutes a person who is reached. So thank you so much for that question. So once you hit share, it opens up a personal message there that you'll see in the bottom of the screen where you can leave a personal message and share it out there on your wall. Okay, super easy, does allow you to grow your audience. The next is a little bit more complex. It's a Facebook boost. Essentially, we are paying Facebook to show your content to a certain number of people. Now, there are two ways that this can happen. The first one is my favorite. You take your existing audience, okay, so you have your nucleus of people there, and you boost it to that audience, plus their friends and their family on Facebook, so that you're expanding your reach within an established network that you already have credibility in. That's great. The other way is you can target an external market and say, for myself, I may want to say, I want to target Salt Lake City. Okay? They don't have to be fans of my page. They're just people in Salt Lake City, and I'm going to have this post appear on their on the people's Facebook feeds. Okay? So that's another way. Now, one little asterisk I'll put is you do need to have 50 likes on your page to reach that point. But what you do is you hit the boost button down there at the bottom, and what it will allow you to do then is to designate how much you would like to spend, and gives you an estimate on how many people that will reach. So for instance, in this case, if I clicked $30, you're going to notice that I have now the ability to reach 3,200 to 5,900 people. So that's an estimate. It's different for different pages. We had a gentleman on a webinar earlier this morning that indicated that for $5, he reached 6,900 people. Now that's unusual. Okay, it can happen, but that will give you an estimate of how many people you'll reach. It won't go under that. It may go over that, but it won't go under. So simply click Boost. It'll give you the opportunity to target whoever you'd like to. You'll notice this one says we're going to target people who like your page and their friends. Or I could click people you choose to target, and it'll give me the opportunity to designate a geographic or demographic market. Okay? All right, so moving on, I just want to open this up if there are any questions that people have about this webinar. Of course, feel free to send those in. Social 5 University is meant to be a place where you can gain some training. The Social 5 University webpage has all the videos that we've done in the past going forward. So please submit any questions that you have, and we would be happy to answer those going forward. Now we're going to wrap up this webinar for today. Coming up shortly, we'll have a webinar on Twitter audience building. Some great tools there for more advanced users, so we encourage you to participate. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.